Cartier. The name itself defines ultimate luxury, a brand that has adorned royalty and billionaires for over a century. Its little red box is an icon, a promise of the treasure within. Its creations are legendary, from diamond-encrusted tiaras to watches inspired by instruments of war. But what if I told you that the family who built this glittering empire, the dynasty known as the Jewelers of Kings, lost it all in a single generation? This isn't just a story about a company changing hands. It's a story of a dream that dissolved, an empire dismantled from the inside out. Welcome to Elex, your gateway to the true billionaire lifestyle and elite luxury. Today, we discreetly unfold the fall of the Cartier family empire, revealing the forces history rarely dares to discuss. This is the true story of the Cartier family, how three visionary brothers, united by an obsessive goal, conquered the world of luxury, and how their children, torn apart by bitter divisions and bad decisions, let a billion-dollar legacy slip through their fingers. How did they lose control of the most famous name in luxury? How did a birthright forged in ambition become a burden too heavy to carry? It's a cautionary tale for when a family's greatest asset, its name, becomes its heaviest burden. To understand how the Cartier empire collapsed, we must first return to where it all began, tracing the origins, the rise of the Jeweler of Kings. The story starts in a humble Paris workshop in 1847. Louis-François Cartier, the son of a metalworker, lived in a world of factory smoke. For a boy like him, dreaming big was seen as a waste of time, but he studied how light moved through glass. Sent to apprentice under master jeweler Adolphe Picard, he learned his craft. In an audacious gamble, he bought the workshop from his master, starting out deeply in debt with one dream: to make jewelry so incredible Paris's high society couldn't ignore it. For years, he quietly built a reputation on pure, unmatched craftsmanship. The big break came in 1856. Princess Mathilde, the fashionable and influential cousin of Emperor Napoleon III, made her first purchase. Her patronage, and that of Empress Eugénie, instantly solidified Cartier's reputation among the highest circles of the Second French Empire. Suddenly, empresses and duchesses were knocking on his door. By 1859, he had opened a new boutique on the glamorous Boulevard des Italiens. His son Alfred would later prove just as resilient, keeping the business alive during the 1870 siege of Paris by buying jewels at a discount from desperate aristocrats and selling them across the English Channel. But the true architects of the global Cartier empire were Alfred's three sons, Louis, Pierre, and Jacques. With the motto, never copy, only create, these three brothers cooked up a brilliant plan for world domination. They weren't just building a company, they were creating an empire, and they divided the planet like generals plotting a military campaign. Louis, the creative genius with impossibly high standards, stayed in Paris. He was the visionary artist who pioneered the use of platinum in high-end jewelry. He saw the industrial metal didn't tarnish like silver and obsessed over making it strong enough for gems, yet light enough to be delicate. The result was his garland style, creating a look so light and airy it seemed like diamonds were floating on skin. It was Louis who, after his friend, the aviator Alberto Santos Dumont, complained about the clumsiness of pocket watches while flying, designed the first ever men's wristwatch in 1904, the Santos. And it was Louis who, inspired by the new Renault tanks on the Western Front of World War I, created the legendary tank watch in 1919. Pierre was the business mastermind, the deal maker with an incredible global vision. He set his sights on America, opening the New York branch in 1909. He went straight for the giants of Gilded Age industry, the Vanderbilts, the Astors, the Rockefellers. In a legendary move, he targeted railroad tycoon Morton Plant. Plant's young wife, Maisie, had fallen in love with a stunning Cartier pearl necklace, which, due to the rarity of natural pearls, was valued at a staggering $1 million. Plant owned a magnificent 6-story mansion on Fifth Avenue, but was tired of the neighborhood becoming commercialized. Pierre saw his opening and proposed the deal of the century. He would trade the pearl necklace for the mansion. Plant agreed. For the price of some pearls and $100 in cash, Pierre secured Cartier's temple in the heart of New York City in 1917. And then there was Jacques, the quiet, thoughtful gem expert. He conquered the British Empire from London, opening a branch on New Bond Street in 1902, just in time for King Edward VII's coronation. The king ordered 27 tiaras for the event and famously called Cartier the jeweler of kings and the king of jewelers, giving the firm its first royal warrant in 1904. Jacques undertook dangerous journeys to India and the Persian Gulf, charming Maharajas into opening their secret treasure vaults, which were overflowing with mountains of emeralds, rubies, and sapphires. These trips not only supplied the firm with the world's best gems, but also led to some of Cartier's most jaw-dropping pieces, like the spectacular Patiala necklace, a ceremonial piece made for the Maharaja Patiala, which contained nearly 3,000 diamonds. Together, the three brothers worked as one. Louis's design genius, Pierre's networking skills, and Jacques' mastery of gems created a powerhouse that no competitor could touch. They built an empire founded on absolute trust and a shared, obsessive drive for perfection. What followed was an era when Cartier didn't simply participate in luxury, it defined it. At the height of power, inside Cartier's golden age. By the middle of the 20th century, Cartier wasn't just a jeweler, it was a global institution. Its client list read like a who's who of the world's most powerful and famous people. They designed tiaras for royal weddings, like the one Kate Middleton wore, which was originally made for King George VI's wife. They created massive necklaces for Indian royalty and catered to the extravagant tastes of American heiresses and Hollywood icons. The Duchess of Windsor, Wallis Simpson, for whom a king gave up his throne, had a legendary collection, including a stunning 3D panther brooch and a jeweled flamingo brooch. Elizabeth Taylor, whose passion for jewelry was famous, received countless Cartier gifts from her husbands, including the Taylor Burton diamond and a necklace featuring the historic La Peregrina pearl. When Princess Grace Kelly of Monaco needed an engagement ring, Prince Rainier III gave her a Cartier ring with a massive 10.48-carat emerald-cut diamond. From Russian Grand Duchesses fleeing revolution to stars like Gloria Swanson, the global elite all craved a red box from Cartier. The brand stood for timeless elegance, power, and unbelievable wealth. The three branches in Paris, London, and New York weren't just stores. They were temples of luxury. Each was run by a Cartier brother, but all were united by a single purpose: to ensure the brand's total dominance. The family was at the absolute height of its power. But as the saying goes, the first generation builds, the second expands, and the third enjoys. A fourth generation was coming, and the foundations of the empire were about to crack. But empires built on unity are fragile when that unity disappears. The fall, a divided kingdom. The beginning of the end came with a devastating 1-2 punch. In 1941, Jacques, the gem hunter and quiet soul of the trio, died at just 58. The very next year, in 1942, Louis, the creative heart of the company, was also gone. The unified vision that had built the empire was suddenly shattered, leaving Pierre, the dealmaker, to manage the massive global business all by himself during the chaos of World War II. This was more than a personal tragedy. It was the start of a collapse that would tear apart everything the family had built. The problem was the fourth generation. The children of Louis, Pierre, and Jacques inherited the name and wealth, but not the fire. As family historian Francesca Cartier-Brickell later found in old family letters, they had grown up in comfort, preferring to go bobsledding in St. Moritz over managing a global business. They had never known the thrill of risking it all on a make-or-break deal. For them, the inheritance was a burden, not a legacy. They were heirs to a throne they had no desire to occupy. Where the brothers saw one united empire, the fourth generation saw three separate businesses. Their interests clashed, and the shared dream was gone. The first major crack appeared in 1962, even before Pierre's death. His own son, Claude Cartier, fired the first shot by selling the thriving New York branch to a group of investors. After Pierre, the last of the founding brothers, died in 1964, the final pillar of the dynasty fell, and the entire structure began to crumble. The remaining heirs couldn't agree on a path forward. Running a modern luxury brand required huge amounts of capital and sharp management, things a fractured, uninterested family couldn't provide. So they made the fatal mistake. They sold it all off. Instead of fighting to save the empire, they dismantled it. The Paris branch was sold in 1972 to an investment group led by French industrialist Robert Hauck. The London branch, managed by Jacques' son Jean-Jacques, followed in 1974. By 1976, the New York branch was also brought into the new ownership structure. The House of Cartier was shattered, sold off not because it was failing, but because the family simply didn't want the responsibility. By 1979, the dynasty Louis-François started in his tiny workshop was completely gone. And the great irony? The man who bought the Paris branch, Robert Hauck, immediately began the difficult task of buying back the other pieces. By 1979, he had reunited all three branches into a single company, Cartier Monde. Freed from family drama and fueled by corporate money and management, Cartier was reborn. Hauck and his team launched the hugely successful Les Mousses de Cartier line, offering more affordable items like lighters and leather goods, which brought the brand to a new generation of customers and sent sales skyrocketing. Today, Cartier is a cornerstone of the Swiss luxury group Richemont. The brand is bigger and more successful than ever, with a valuation in the tens of billions and over 200 stores worldwide. The name Cartier thrived, but the family dynasty was gone forever. It's no longer a family story, it's a corporate one. Clean, efficient, and incredibly profitable. But it's missing the heart and soul that Louis-François and his grandsons poured into it. The fall of the Cartier family empire is the ultimate cautionary tale. It proves that a great name isn't a guarantee of success, and that a legacy, no matter how brilliant, can be lost in a single generation. It's a story about what happens when the hunger that builds an empire is replaced by the comfort of inheriting one. The family known as the Jeweler of Kings learned a painful lesson. Sometimes the biggest threat to a dynasty doesn't come from the outside world, but from the indifference within. If you're fascinated by the stories of great family fortunes, subscribe for more tales about the dynasties that built our world and the heirs who let it all fall apart. This is Elux, your gateway to the true billionaire lifestyle and elite luxury. We'll see you in the next video.